Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, again, it's Gordon. Welcome to another episode of Land Up for Success. Today, I have a very special guest, a really good friend that I've known for a couple years now. You get to know someone for a short period of time, and already you just feel like you've known this person forever. And this individual is doing amazing things in her community. She's an author. She's helping children, really, in my opinion. I'm just paraphrasing it. Becoming a hero in their own lives. And so she is being nominated for the Toronto Waterfront Awards. It's an incredible evening red carpet experience where 15 categories of amazing women that are going to be recognized for their achievements in the greater Toronto area. So I couldn't think of a better time than for now to introduce to you this amazing individual. So please tell me to welcome Tammy Vallieres. Well, Tammy, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gordon. I just want to give a shout out to you, how grateful I am. And I'm sure how all the nominees were that you are taking the time, because I know you're a truly busy guy, to shine a light on us and highlight all the work that we're doing. So you're genuine. I just want to say how amazing Gordon is. Whenever I've needed support or help or reached out to him, he has always been there. So you don't know sometimes if people are real and true to how they project themselves out into the world, but this guy is, and he's one of the warmest, kindest, friendliest, more sincere people, Gordon, I truly know. So I think that's where the comfort is.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Tammy, we're going to keep this really informal. And I was thinking the last Waterfront Awards was just before COVID, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I still remember a group picture we took on top of that beautiful balcony, right down at what was the building? It was the Globe and Mail building,
Yeah.
right? And the sunset that evening and the view of the city was just incredible. Yeah, I think I must have shared that picture 1,000 times now.
Me too. It was perfect and beautiful, and I think everybody's seen it many times on your site, my site, Jen's site, Susan's site. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we're doing it all over again tomorrow, and so before we get into the Waterfront Awards and how individuals would be able to actually go and vote for you. And if for any of my friends who are watching, or so not just sort of Tammy's friends, my friends, please, here's the website. Go and click vote, 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 and vote for Tammy. Okay. And so, Tammy, I want to jump right into it for my friends who don't know who's Tammy. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I guess in a nutshell, my journey to discovering my own hero within, and my journey through the school system and all my struggles that I went through as a child, my self-worth, my identity, and then becoming a teacher and still feeling like I didn't quite fit in or belong, has been many years in coming. And so my whole dream in my heart is to support and champion children right from the earliest ages of kindergarten, to help them identify their worth, know their value in the world, and know what their winning and losing formula is. Right. For me, I was in the traditional school system, and the things that I was really good at weren't the things that were sometimes acknowledged in school, like math and language even. And here I am now, a published author. Sports or things like that. I didn't quite know what my winning formula was until I went to college. And then I excelled in psychology and personal growth and development and spirituality and all this amazing stuff. And then I started to bring it and adapt it into the school system, mental health, social and emotional well-being, and it still wasn't really valued or appreciated. But when COVID hit, when we came back and we reemerged, this is when there started to be a real big, focus and attention on personal growth and development and mental and emotional well-being for children in schools. So we're at a really important piece in our life.
Well, that's pretty incredible, because often when we think about personal development, personal growth, right? At least for me, we think about adults.
Right.
Right? Or many of our friends who are business owners, entrepreneurs, and so on, never really children.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, Gordon, too, because taking that concept. So one of my superpowers and genius is taking really complicated subjects like existential, understanding the meaning of life, and breaking it down into the simplest form. And the most simplest form, and we're going to come into, is storytelling, right? When you look at right from the beginning of time, stories were told because they connect at the heart level. Children are able to understand and be inspired by stories, be motivated by stories. And so when I started to dabble into this, I wasn't strong, and I didn't have the confidence. So I found my dynamic duo, which was Susan Lucenti Rizzo. She was my first person that I realized the power of partnership and why it was so important to leverage each other's different strengths, which is how we co-authored the Awaken Your Inner Hero book with Susan Howson and Jenny Fitzpatrick, right? So this is the power of working in collaboration and shared leadership and sharing our gifts and talents. So what I do at the kindergarten level is help children realize and access their superpowers, their talents, their gifts, their interests, and how to work in collaboration with one another. I call it our V method, like the geese, and then shared leadership, right? Because when they're all stepping into their little leader self, I don't have to micromanage and I don't have to discipline, because they all show up as their best, which I refer to as their little heroes. So when you have a class of heroes, you have zero behaviors.
I like that. Maybe that should be the title of your new book, Class of Heroes.
Well, I love that. You just planted the idea. I love that. We'll have to think about that, because classroom transformation is exactly that. When I tapped into, just like the Olympics, when you have these coaches that start to realize that when you intervene and you connect with children at the youngest of levels,
yes,
who they become at age 9 and 10 and what they're capable of is far greater than if we started at 10, 12, 14. So a lot of the work that we started to do is when we looked at personal growth and development and starting at a very young age, who these children were showing up as at 12 and 15 and 18 because they were exposed to it. So a lot of the kids in our book had been with parents and families that were involved in personal growth and development and early exposure. And then these kids became the massive voice. Look at Greta Thunberg, right? You got Autumn Pelche, and you've got Faith, right? Dickinson. So you've got all these amazing kids that are altruistic. They're doing it for the right intentions, pure of heart, like Seven Suzuki, who wrote the foreword for our book, talked about. And she was a young girl in the United Nations, right? Speaking and advocating at the youngest of ages, because it's their future, it's their world, but we don't give them a voice. And that's what is a real shame.
Wow. That's incredible. And, you mentioned kindergarten age. I have, as we talked about off the air here before we came on here, like, I can't believe I got 5 baby grandchildren. They're all under the ages of 3.
Right.
So at age 4? Age 4 is when they start kindergarten?
4 and 5 is when I start. And how I've done it and how I've discovered it is, well, this is all I do. I live, breathe, sleep this. And I teach 3 kindergarten master classes a day. So,
wow.
and I've gone to many different schools too. So I get the same results, right? So it's like if all you worked on was breaks, you get really good at it. And I've been teaching over 25 years now with a degree, right, in psychology, a background, and I'm an early childhood educator. First was my first profession. I've got my art specialist and my primary specialist. I mean, I became an expert in this. And then just teaching prep, which is, and I've called it kindergarten masterclass. And what is that? Right. So I teach my friends, right, my little heroes, the hero in me sees the hero in you. And we're here to grow. Miss Vallieres is here to help you grow your 3 super brains, your head brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain, so you can become the best that you can be. So they know exactly.
Tell me those 3 again. Tell me those 3.
The 3 super brains is your head brain. So we build them into a growth mindset, right? Their attitudes, the way they think, the point of perspectives. And I do that all through storytelling because it really connects with them to understand. Then stories also connect to their heart, right? So when we teach with stories, intuitively and emotionally, they get connected and invested in the characters and in the stories. So now I'm inspiring them intrinsically instead of externally. So they want to do it because they want to do it, because they believe in it, not because they have to. So my classroom becomes an I want to versus an I have to attitude. And then the gut brain is when they're healthy, right, and they're eating healthy food, it gives them their star power and energy to become their best self. And you have to have those three brains in alignment to really step into your hero. Because if you think about a hero, they have a growth mindset. They're always about, I can do it, perseverance. They have beautiful hearts. They're always giving back to others and serving in the community. And they're healthy. You don't see really unhealthy heroes. You see them in group health. So I say to the
Wonder
kids,
Woman, Superman.
right, they're all great health. So with these kids, they do it because they want to be healthy. And I have kids going crying because their parents put the unhealthy food in their lunch bag. I said, well, use your powerful words and tell your parents, use your words and express to mommy and daddy that you want food that will help you go, grow, and glow. And they use that language and they go back home and they educate their parents.
Well, that's incredible. So welcome, Donna Murray.
Yay, Donna Murray. She's from Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay. Yes.
She's family to us. We celebrate Christmas together every Christmas. So it's super cool to have her here.
Amazing. My daughter, when she was in university, actually did a semester of work up in Thunder Bay. She loved it.
Donna lives,
Yeah. Wow. We all knew here. We need heroes. We need heroes in our lives today, and I applaud you for what you're doing because our kids really they teach us so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wish
master teachers.
Yeah, I wish there were times that we could go back, right? Like our lives are sometimes so beaten up as we get older that we actually go back and be a child again.
Right. That's what I'm doing with my teacher training right now, Gordon, is finding and helping teachers connect with their inner child. Because, when you think about it, this childlike sense of wonder and curiosity and using our imagination, we lose that as we get older. And one of the things is there was a study by George Land, and he did a TED Talk for NASA. And he said it's one of the most important works he's ever did was a longitudinal study. And they did a group where they wanted to create 1,600 children and create this aptitude test to see how many of them were geniuses. So how many out of 1,600, how many percentage do you think showed up as geniuses?
Wow.
How many do you think?
5%?
98%.
98%? Like I'm completely
opposite. So think about this. So this is why this was so powerful and important in NASA. They were looking for geniuses, and they wanted to do this study. So when they tested the same group of kids at age 10, what do you think their geniuses were at?
I wouldn't.
They dropped down to 30%. And when they tested these same kids at 15, it was down to 12. And by 30, only 2%. So what this proved to NASA in this study is that we lose our genius as we get older. All the paradigms, all the belief systems, all the conditioning, all the micromanaging, we squash their genius out of them. So why this isn't the most important work we're using and leveraging and looking at in education is alarming to me.
That's incredible. I never thought of it that way. I always knew, as we get older, we squash our dreams, but squashing our geniuses.
Yeah. So this is it. So what I try to do is this is because the study was at 4 and 5-year-olds. I'm taking them at their genius level. I always say, you're the 98% genius. Miss Vallieres is that down to 2% genius. So as we go to work with them, we are working with them to expand their genius and maintain their genius. So this is why this is so important work that we work with them at the youngest of ages, and then we scaffold those strengths and gifts all the way through up. Imagine if there was a group of us that got together, visionaries and educators, and we actually did this. and again, think about the Olympics. When you start them early on, who are they? Imagine a world of children where we support them at the youngest of ages into their hero, into their genius, and what kind of society, humanity could we have in 20 years when they become, the frontline leaders?
Wouldn't that be powerful? Wow.
Little heroes, right? Working with humanity. And that's what, in the past, children were seen and not heard. And now we realize that these little souls, these little beautiful beings have so much to offer us. Like, again, we need to look at them as master teachers because they really, truly are in different areas and not in the, we don't look to them to how to repair a car or how to do math, but look at kindness.
Yeah.
The child is beautiful. They can teach us that. Look at imagination. Look at play. Look at freedom. They're little spirits. They'll be naked, running around. They have no care in the world. Look at their hearts. Look at how they don't judge others. These are the incredible qualities that they are superior to us in. So yes, we're not looking at experiences to compare, but when you're looking at qualities, morals, values, altruism, right? And it's their world, it's their future. We need their voice and we need to honor who they are.
That's incredible. Tammy, I didn't probably haven't got a chance to share this with you. At Land for Success, we have an event coming up in September 23rd where we have individuals that would be speaking to build their confidence. We're also launching a first Land for Success youth speaker competition. Right. So I'm so excited to hear these kids step on stage and share their stories in their own way.
Me too. And this lands into kind of where I am right now because, Susan and Jen and I, we started 3 years ago with the book, and then we've kind of each gone in our own pathways, right? So the one thing I'm doing right now is I'm doing kindergarten masterclass certification and training. So educating teachers on how to do what I do for classroom transformation. But then one of the other partners that I'm now working with is Sylvia Tam and Adam. So Adam is the founder of Kidpreneurs, and he's all about supporting and giving children as young as 6 to 12 the business entrepreneurial skill set. So we've come together in partnership, myself, Sylvia, who's a super mom, and Adam Torin, and we've come together as a dynamic or terrific trio because he's got the business brain because he started his business with his twin brother at the ages of 7. So he's doing this. Wow. He's hired Sylvia's son, which is Ben, as the COO of his company. So Ben is actually working directly with us, and Ben was working with Gary Vee for a week in New York City. So this is amazing. And this kid is only 16 years old. He was CEO of his own podcast company. And he was interviewing 150 kids around the world that were all in their, genius and at the height of their things, because he wanted to learn, how did you get there? So he had a podcast company, and this is how he started to work with Adam, and Adam reached out to Sylvia and I. So this is the magic that we're doing with this Kidpreneur, and we're doing our first Supernova camp next week. So again, it's giving children.
Tell us a little bit about that camp.
Pardon?
Tell us a little bit about that camp next week.
So that's a super cool camp. We've got it's 5 days. So the first day we talk about all the P's. Each day we have a different P. Purpose, passion, philanthropy, prosperity, all these P's that we focus on each day. We help children create their pitch. They have a power pet that they lead with. And then on the last day, they do their power pitch presentations. And they have one day on the Thursday where they have an asynchronistic day off to put their pitch together. So it's a really powerful, it's like TED Talks for kids, but they're putting together and hearing each other's business pitches on the last and final day.
That is pretty incredible. Tammy, I was talking to a friend of mine, Chief Lester Bailey, and he's out of Phoenix, Arizona. He's a member of Land for Success and author in many of our books. and you've been nominated for authorship. And so Chief Bailey, 30 years as a police officer, he's bodyguard for 2 U.S. presidents. Can you
Wow.
imagine? And you probably heard of Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
Right? I love her. I love her quotes. Like she's bodyguard, like
Yeah.
for Maya Angelou, just an incredible individual. But he is now
You know the best people, Gordon.
oh, they're so cool, right?
Yeah, you get to meet the best people, even with the Waterfront Awards. Let's face
Yeah.
it.
Well, one of the reasons why I'm going to connect you with Chief Bailey is he's connected with Dirt Merchant Films, and it's all their films are about personal development and personal growth. And just this week, I had just gotten off a call with them where they want to do, they actually want to come up with programs for youth leadership development all across North America.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is my dream, is to create education centers around the world for home, daycare, and school, because we need to bridge the gap between home, daycare, and school too, where we all have a common language and we work together in supporting these 4 and 5-year-olds as the foundation year.
And it's getting harder and harder with, both parents have to work.
Yes.
And daycare it's a lot of money.
Well, and there's a disconnect between home, daycare, and school, and even homeschooling, right? Imagine if we could support each other and if we just focused on ages 4 and 5, because that's the common link that is between home, daycare, and school. And it's the foundation years. It's like building a home. An engineer understands the foundation is the structure that holds everything else together. And if you don't put the time and energy into those foundational years, your structure is not going to be solid. So imagine personal growth and development starting at 4 and 5. And one thing that I've tried to do is what's missing in education. So I figured there's 3 things missing in education. The first thing is learning skills. We assess children at the bottom of the report card on their learning skills, but we don't teach them learning skills. So usually the parent will see if you get E's all across the board on your learning skills, you can give that kid anything and they're going to excel. Even if it's hard for them and it's not their superpower, they'll persevere. The second thing is life skills. We don't connect learning and life together. So this is where personal growth and development and helping kids, get behind why they're going to school and connecting it to real life. And the third thing that I do with Kindergarten Masterclass and the teacher training certification is leadership skills. When you have every little child stepping into a leader, you don't have to micromanage them. It's beautiful. And they all want to be leaders. Trust me. Like they all want to be at the front. They all want to have a voice. They all want to be able to share. So when you use this and you leverage it, it's magic. And I just discovered it. Like, this is why I'm so excited to share it with the world, is because I have a little utopiary world. No matter where I go, I can help create these utopiary worlds for children and educators. And there's so much chaos happening in school. And if you have calm, harmonic relationships in your classroom, you can teach them anything. Because when a child is focused, happy, and healthy, they can learn. If it's chaos, they have too many roadblocks.
Wow, that's incredible. I love your passion. I actually see your passion jump off the screen right now. I'd love to have you come back another time and deep dive more into some.
And I want to learn more about this connection that you're talking about, because this would be an amazing partnership. And when you're amazing at connecting people, you're an incredible connector, Gordon, and your heart is so pure in wanting to help, with children. And how I see you, even with your wife and your family and your grandchildren, it just makes my heart happy. Thank
you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Now, before we go, again, for some of our friends who are watching, Tammy has been nominated for Waterfront Awards for authorship. Okay, so there's a link on the bottom. Please click on that link and just vote for Tammy. But more importantly, reach out and learn more about what she's doing. Maybe you have children, you had children, or you have grandchildren, you have nieces, nephews, right? Maybe you're a big brother, big sister to someone. And I know when I came from Hong Kong to Canada, one of my biggest challenges was I didn't know the language, couldn't speak the language, didn't have the help, didn't have the support. I wish I have what Tammy's talking about right now. But Tammy, before you go, what would it mean? What would it mean to you? What would it mean for you if you did win the Waterfront Awards for your category?
For me, I would hold this not for me, right? This is about shining a light. I'm that person to shine a light on the children, giving them a voice, giving them, educating, elevating, and empowering children and their voices, and helping them to be seen, and celebrated, because they are such powerful influencers. And when we do this at the very youngest of ages, we can help them, work with them to create the world, this new earth, this new world that they are going to be living in 20, 30, 40 years from now. It's about, we need to give them a voice, and we need to empower them so that they become part of the process, and they become, their voice, their imagination, their input is brought into their future for them. So I'm just an advocate of them. So, winning this award would be about me shining a light on them and the work that needs to get done, and the educators that want to get behind this, because again, children can't do this on their own. We need to help educate and empower and give the tips and tools and strategies to the parents, the teachers, and educators to be able to support these children and these coaches.
Well, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much. And for the folks who are watching, look, the events tomorrow night starts at, I think, 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
At the Queen's Quay.
We're going to be actually doing book signing there. We've got a table for the Awaken Your Inner Hero book, and we've got, we're going to be signing books and giving them away. So that's going to be super fun and cool.
That'll be so much fun, right? Go to the Waterfront award.ca website. You'll see the link in the bottom where you can nominate, vote for Tammy, but more important, grab a ticket, come on down. It's a red carpet event. I hear there's a lot of entertainers there. I heard one of the entertainers, she is actually local here in the GTA, and she won the Golden Buzzer, I think, for America's Got Talent.
What?
Right? And she's going to be, I would imagine she's going to be singing there tomorrow, but it's just going to be a fun night, right?
Fun night, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just really give a shout out to my girls, Susan Housen and Jen Fitzpatrick? Honestly, I wouldn't be here. The book wouldn't be here without the three hearts and brains and vision of all three of us.
Yes.
And collaboration is so important. We know that we are together, we're stronger. So I really just want to do a shout out to them.
I love that. Who is it? Napoleon Hill talks about collaborations, right? Masterminds, master alliance. And a master alliance is two or more people coming together in harmony with each other. And I definitely see yourself and Susan and Jennifer doing that. Yeah. And I know Jennifer's gone on to a very successful real estate career. What is Susan doing? You mentioned she
does Kids Coaching Connection program. So she's a coach and professor as well. So amazing. Yeah, I mean, and that's what's beautiful is the power of three, right? We know it's the strongest number in the universe too. So we love the power of three. But again, it's like we could never have done this on our own. And so this is why we want to, help people to find your vibe and tribe, find your team, your mastermind group.
Well, I learned from you today, Class of Heroes and Power of Three. So those are amazing. Tammy, before you go, I got 3 quick questions for you. I'm going to put you on the spot. Would that be okay?
Sure.
Okay. So just so our folks here can get to know you a little bit, what is your favorite color?
Blue. Robin egg blue.
That's why we're blue.
We're both in blue. That's perfect. Yeah. That's why I changed last minute, right?
Love it. Wait, do you have a favorite ice cream?
Yes, I like bubblegum ice cream.
Okay, love it. Bubblegum ice cream. And then the third question for you is, if you could wave a magic wand right now and do one thing for Tammy, not somebody else, because I know you have such a big heart and you're always serving, you're always thinking, how can you help others, especially kids and children, right? And kids in your classrooms, and helping teachers, right, to be educated so they can actually learn how to really, educate our kids to become leaders. But if you could wave the magic wand and do one thing for you right now, what would you do?
Mine's big. And it would be creating heaven here on earth, because here's the thing, as I create heaven on earth for me, it's also serving everybody else to be able to live in that utopian world. So that's the dream in my heart.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. It's exciting, Gordon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.